Hi, this is the April episode of the Sponsorship Experts podcast with Paul Poole, the founder of the Sponsorship Experts and director of Paul Poole Southeast Asia. And this month's episode is quite in depth about how all of this works for both rights holders and for sponsors. We've done our best as usual to make this as entertaining as possible, and it's one of those episodes perhaps to bookmark and use as reference material. So let's get on with it.
So, good afternoon again, Paul. This month we're going to do something a little bit different. We've had this kind of big Q&A loaded up for quite a while now, and we've never got around to doing it because it's basically a full episode, and we've had events and stuff to focus on so far. We still have, but I think this will be a good week or a good month to do the whole of the Q&A. Are you okay with that?
Absolutely, Trevor.
All right. So, please explain to me I sound like I'm reading it now, don't I? Right, I'm going to say this naturally now and not read it. Oh, that means I have to remember it. Anyway, please explain to me the core services of the Sponsorship Experts in 3 words or less. Joking. Go ahead.
So we specialise in commercial sponsorship and partnership marketing, working with both rights holders and brands, acting as a catalyst and bringing them together to maximise the relationship. At the core of our approach is a commitment to evidence-based decision making, and we spend a lot of time on market research. We were founded in 2004 and have worked with some of the biggest rights holders and brands in Thailand and across Southeast Asia. Mm-hmm. For rights holders, we offer a full service and packaging product, providing advice on packaging, sales, management and marketing communication programs. More specifically, we help rights holders understand why brands sponsor and partner, how to position sponsorship opportunities to attract sponsors and partners, and how to leverage sponsorship to improve the overall quality of the property. We assist in the development of and distribution of sales materials, develop sales targets, source sponsors and partners, and manage and negotiate contracts. For brands, we offer extensive engagement and activation services, helping them throughout the sponsorship process, from researching sponsorship opportunities, conducting sponsorship audits, developing market activity reports, managing sponsorship opportunities, negotiating rights, and measuring sponsorship effectiveness through qualitative and quantitative research.
Okay, and as you said, all of this is data-based. I mean, thoroughly researched.
Yeah.
And you've had how many years experience now in this market?
In Thailand, we're coming up to 20 years. So we've worked, oh my goodness, for 20 years on literally hundreds and hundreds of sponsorship opportunities over those years across sport and non-sport.
Yeah, including some serious marquee brands.
Yeah,
which I've witnessed.
Yeah, so we've worked with global brands, domestic brands. Without exaggerating, I mean, we've really worked with everybody over the last 20 years. Yeah. Really some of the really best rights holders and some of the really biggest and best brands.
Right. So, do you offer any other related services?
Yes. So once per year we conduct 2 training workshops, and we've spoken about them in previous episodes.
Yeah, if you listen to the previous episodes, there's a lot more detail.
Yeah.
And there's also more detail in the newsletter.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. So our workshops are aimed at rights holders and brands, respectively, helping them understand and practice all aspects of commercial sponsorship and partnership marketing. Please, read the newsletter stories for detail about that. But in addition, we also have a classified section which we call Marketplace, and that's a platform for rights holders to promote their commercial sponsorship and partnership marketing opportunities in a forum frequented by influential decision makers and influencers in sponsorship. With Marketplace, it's a really great resource for non-clients of ours to post their opportunities. So it's a really great space.
Like a network.
Yeah, more than that. Actually, a lot of the rights holders that are not clients of ours that use Marketplace are non-profit organisations that perhaps don't have budgets to hire us, but they can still reach some of our database and contacts through that platform.
Right.
Also, something we've spoken about at length over the last few episodes is our subsidiary Asia Sponsorship News, which is the leading market intelligence service for the sponsorship industry in Asia, which distributes independent news and analytics insights on a subscription basis with bespoke training services and consultancy. And just to recap on ASN, I mean, it's really got an unrivaled data set of over 270,000 commercial sponsorship and partnership marketing deals, which has allowed sponsorship professionals to trade faster and more efficiently in an environment of more clearer transparency. So a really great resource. And lastly, we work with SportsCred, and we spoke about that, I think, in a previous episode.
Yeah.
SportsCred is a social media sponsorship platform that monetizes athletes, clubs, sports organizations, agencies, etc., social media. So it's really harnessing the power of influencers, specifically sports influencers, so elite and pro athletes. Yeah. So really, we cover all aspects of sponsorship, whether you're a rights holder, whether you're a brand, or whether you're an agency, through our core products and services, or through our subsidiaries or platforms that we utilize.
But all of that makes sense. It's coherent.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, everything that you do, it fits together. There's nothing there that isn't relevant. And everything that you do is areas where you have tangible, genuine experience and expertise.
Yeah, I mean, when rewind 20 years, actually, my original intention when I moved here I moved here full time in January 2005, but the company was set up in June 2004. And originally, it was going to be a general marketing consultancy, which is my background.
Yeah.
And I really was shocked to see that although event marketing is a very popular, very successful tool here in Thailand across the region, there wasn't anybody specialising in commercial sponsorship and partnership marketing, even though those events, certainly back then, were almost 100% reliant on sponsorship, because it's very difficult then to sell tickets. Not so much now, things have changed. But that's why we went into sponsorship, because there was a real need for it, and there was a real niche for it. And 20 years later, we're really one of the only people still working in this area or specialising in this area. So we've really cut quite a niche out for ourselves. And you're right, we only do sponsorship. Yeah. Whether lots of different angles of sponsorship, but it comes back down to sponsorship.
With 20 years of credibility.
Yeah.
Which I think in this space, especially for companies who are new, or rights holders who are new, is actually really important.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually, I read a great quote today, and I can't remember who the quote was from, but it was about, it might only take us 30 minutes to do a job, but it took 30 minutes because of our 10 or 20 years experience in order to do that. So you're not paying for the 30 minutes, you're paying for the 10 or 20 years.
That's usually applied to session musicians.
I can't remember who's the quote, but it's absolutely right. And I always say, you're actually paying for the mistakes that we've made. We've already made all the mistakes, so let's make new mistakes. Let's not let's not go back and make the same mistakes again.
Forwards together for new mistakes.
Yeah, but it's a really interesting industry, and it's really, really rewarding because I've taken my general marketing experience, and actually sponsorship covers all the general sponsorship, all the marketing mix in its approach. You cover everything in marketing through sponsorships and through activations of sponsorships.
And it's glamorous. I think it is.
Really? I'm not sure. It's very hard. It's a lot of hard work. I mean, I think people see the glamorous side of it when the actual event's happening.
Well, I do.
They don't see the 6 to 12 months hard slog before the event.
This is true, and I like it like that. I just go and talk to you about having been there and swanned around for a bit at some posh event. All right, so. This could take 2 days. Who are your clients?
Okay, without naming them all, and if you go on our website, there is a client sponsor partner page where you can see everybody we've worked with over the past 20 years, and it's quite a lot. But we're lucky enough to work with a wide range of rights holders and brands covering many different sectors, not only does it keep things fresh with us, but it also is a great way to see the broader picture and benefit from cross-sector experiences, lessons and insights. So as I just said, learning from mistakes, learning from our peers. Our clients are currently made up of 80% sport-related properties and 20% non-sport-related properties. In the sports sector, we cover a range of disciplines, including mass participation events. We mentioned in a previous episode about the marathons and triathlons we're involved in, as well as athletics, badminton, basketball, football, golf,
Yachting.
martial arts, motorsports, table tennis, volleyball, and yachting. You're correct, and yachting. We also work with government bodies like the Sports Authority of Thailand as well, and If you look at the Sports Authority of Thailand, we tend to work on the larger games that come to Thailand, but we also work very closely with all 87 national sports associations, so essentially everybody in sport. It's no surprise that 80% is sport related. That's where most of the money is spent. We saw from some of the Asia Sponsorship News market analysis that we did that sport bounced back strongly after COVID.
Yeah.
Non-sport, not so much. Non-sport is struggling a little bit to bounce back, but I'm sure it will come.
So that's globally. I mean, most sponsorship, 80% of all sponsorship money across the board, it goes into sport.
I mean, rule of thumb, 80% is going into sport. And actually, if you nail it down even further, 50% of that 80% is usually in football. So football's a really strong category, obviously. But non-sport, I mean, we work with non-sport clients, including a variety of rights holders in the arts, entertainment, and MICE, meetings, incentives, conventions, and exhibition space. We talk extensively about the Thailand International Boat Show in previous episodes. So those are kind of non-sport, as well as Gumball 3000 Rally, which is non-sport. Now, those kind of cross over a little bit into sport. I mean, Thailand International Boat Show, yachts, kind of sport. Gumball car rally, supercars, kind of sport, but not strictly sport. So non-sport is interesting.
Also sport.
But also, I mean, music festivals, etc. I mean, there's a lot of talk about soft power. There's a lot of talk about certainly in Thailand becoming a festival hub, and we've seen big concerts in Singapore with Taylor Swift, and all of everything that people love about entertainment and arts. And also, again, 20 years ago, it was pretty hard to sell tickets to those events. Now it's really not hard. I mean, our friends at Tira Entertainment, they've actually approached now the less sponsorship driven for entertainment, for concerts, and more ticket sales. And the ticket sales are going very well at very good prices. Also artists and their management have changed dramatically in 20 years, where sponsorship was a key thing. Now not so much, and artists themselves have sponsors, so there's conflicts with other brands, etc. So in the entertainment space, sponsorship isn't driving that factor. Where it is driving is with the venues. So we're lucky enough to work with Bytech Live. So we're currently discussing a title sponsorship with Bytech Live. Bangkok's seen quite a few title sponsorships. UOB Live, for example, just 10 minutes from where we're sitting. So venue sponsorships, that's the shift towards that versus the actual concerts that are taking place.
Yeah.
If you'd like to get in touch with Paul Pool Southeast Asia Co Limited, you can email us on info@paulpool.co.th, or you can go to the website paulpool.co.th, or you can call us on +66 2622 0605 through to 7.
We target various levels of rights holders and offer service that suit both those looking for a full package and those whose needs are more limited. For example, our full service offering is aimed at large rights holders in need of extensive packaging, sales, management and marketing communication services. Our packaging product is aimed at rights holders with fewer management and marketing communication needs, and marketplaces targeted at rights holders who wish to simply promote their sponsorship opportunities in a highly relevant forum. Our target audiences are concentrated mainly in Thailand and wider Southeast Asia.
All right. So how do you measure success?
I mean, it really varies from client to client. We help our clients understand and leverage the market value of their assets. This includes an extensive sponsorship property evaluation, examining the full value of all the major sponsorship assets of their property. More specifically, the sponsorship property evaluation identifies unique assets that can drive value, such as exterior exposure, on-site exposure, advertising, database marketing, CRM programs, media coverage, promotion and privileges, experiential marketing, hospitality, image association, internet, and publishing and collateral. All assets are assigned a base value based on 3 criteria. Media benchmarking, holding the assets up against current media rates. Sponsorship benchmarking, holding the sponsorship property up against similar properties locally, nationally and internationally. And our 20 plus years experience in sponsorship sales. Looking at the image of the property as a whole, the supply and demand affecting the availability of specific type of assets, the nature, quality and impact of exposure, the degree of sponsorship clutter, and how the exposure element integrates into the sponsorship packages as a whole.
And I'm sure that some of the companies, like the bigger companies that you sponsor the other week, they've got their own criteria for what has been a successful event, right?
Yeah, and I mean, we're talking about the sponsorship evaluation on Spur. Actually, the reason we closed the sponsor deal for Volleyball World very quickly was because of our Volleyball World Spur that we created 2 years ago for the VNL, or sorry, not 2 years ago, last year for the VNL in 2023. So, you know, sponsors have a criteria of what they're looking for,
The profile.
and they want to know what the values are of those profiles. So I think, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think it was a 4-to-1. So the sponsorship fee that sponsor paid for the VNL was they got a 4 times return on that fee. So you know, it was there in black and white, showing them, wow, we're paying X and we're getting Y, and this is our return immediately before activation.
Right.
But you know, activation is really key as well.
Yeah.
You know, that the sponsor really gets out what it puts in. You know, the rights fee is really buying their way into the event, and they get all the rights that we promise. But really, their leverage and where it becomes unique to the individual sponsor is their activation activity.
Well, I think you just answered the next question. Are you telepathic? I was going to say that. Sponsorship and partnership marketing is all about the activation. So how do you help clients in that area?
Okay, well, we work closely with our clients to maximise the power of commercial sponsorship and partnership marketing. And that includes advising them on how best to activate the sponsorships. As we see time and time again, sponsorship is much more than simply buying a title.
Yeah.
It's about engaging the right audiences in the right way and measuring the effort. For example, we offer sponsorship audits and market activity reports, and we help clients exploit sponsorship through direct marketing, PR and advertising. We also use PerforMind, which is a scientific approach to selecting sponsorship criteria and sourcing a sponsorship that best fits the brand or business needs.
That's software, by the way, PerforMind.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, okay. From a Canadian company called Sponsorium.
Okay. Quite a posh Roman name. Very all the rage at the moment. Tell us something we don't know about commercial sponsorship and partnership marketing.
A lot of people think commercial sponsorship and partnership marketing as a money game, but it goes way beyond just monetary objectives and ROIs. However, it is our belief that commercial sponsorship and partnership marketing is not just for rights holders and brands to benefit, but for the benefit of the wider environment in which they operate, as well as the end customer, the fan. By leveraging the power of sponsorship, rights holders and brands are able to improve the effectiveness of their activities and organise and host better quality and more sustainable events, and engage with the local community in a more meaningful way. For example, several of our clients use commercial sponsorship and partnership marketing to support charitable causes or increase awareness of social and or environmental issues. Furthermore, well-organised and executed events attract more people, which in turn may support surrounding industries.
All right. So this has been fairly information dense in terms of the normal podcasts that we do, but I think we needed to do this because and people can listen to this again.
Yeah.
If there's a bit that they didn't pick up, or their attention wandered, they can come back to it, because I think anyone from either side of rights holders or sponsors, especially if they're new to it, they need this, right?
Yeah, I think I think looking back at the last few episodes of the podcast, we're always very, very, very focused on our clients. Obviously, I mean, we're here to deliver for our clients. We have lots and lots of products and services, training workshops, subsidiaries, tools that we license, etc. But the end result is always focused on, did we deliver or not, and that's basically our clients. So we're very, very focused on our clients, and sometimes we forget to focus on ourselves.
Yeah.
So it's really great. I mean, I like to do these at the beginning of the year, but it's been a very busy year. So I think coming straight out of the Chinese New Year, it's a really great thing.
And the other thing is about this kind of content is that it's there. So if people want to go back in 6 months' time, much of that information isn't going to change about how this works.
No, I mean, unfortunately, there's no shortcuts in what we do. I mean, we, as I said at the very beginning, we're very market intelligence focused on, data driven. So, there are no shortcuts. It's just really hard work. But we know we know all aspects of sponsorship through the last 20 years of experience. So we can kind of fast track the boring bits, like the production of sales materials, the creation of rights, the evaluation. So all those things that are absolutely necessary and perhaps not that glamorous, as you mentioned before, they're very important at the start, but we really then need to be knocking on doors and delivering sponsors, and then the fun stuff comes with the activation and then seeing the results as well. I mean, that's what gets me up in the morning, is actually seeing a brand and a right sort of come together and it work for both of them, have a great sponsorship, both getting a return on investment and a return on objective, and then repeat sponsorships. We've just seen that with Sponsor and Volleyball World, with the V&L. There's nothing better than seeing, especially a title sponsor, a big sponsor coming back for a second, third, fourth, fifth year because they've had a great experience and got returns.
There really is no stronger endorsement than that, than a repeat of the event, a repeat of their involvement, or a growth of what you did. And speaking of growth, I mean, what's next for your company? What are you looking at in the short term?
Well, it's the same objective we had pre-COVID. I mean, we intend to double in size through acquisition and our own growth. We've seen a little bit of that post-COVID with the acquisition of Asia Sponsorship News, and we're growing. I mean, we've got some exciting news in next month's podcast.
I know what it is.
You know what it is, but
I'm not allowed to say.
You're not allowed to say yet.
Send me an email.
But very, very, very exciting news. It's something that we're extremely proud of. And it's kind of a game changer in Thailand as well. Yep. So that'll be fun to announce next month.
Make sure to listen to next month's podcast.
So we're just bouncing back after COVID and actually very positively bouncing back strongly as well, which is great. And it's good to see the industry bounce back across the region.
Fantastic. All right. Well, thanks again, Paul, and I'll see you next month.
Thank you, Trevor.
Seeking sponsors. Seeking an opportunity to sponsor. Looking to maximise an already sponsored opportunity? Visit paulpool.co.th, the sponsorship experts.